Hi everybody, it's Etheridge here from Wedding Biz Bootcamp, and today we are talking about writing headlines that captivate your brides. Now this is so important. Words are the heart of your business. They're what people buy from. It's what your brides and grooms will choose to hit that book now, that inquire now, or that buy now button, because they don't get to see you, they don't get to meet you. Unless you do face-to-face consultations, the first impression that they have of you is your website and the words that are on your website, the words that you use in all of the copy that you write for your business. And by copy, I am talking about your newsletters, your blogs, your social media posts, your website, all of the words that you write for your business. Now, there is one step that comes before all of that. That is almost as important, and that is headlines. Now, if you are not writing headlines which are captivating your brides, that are making them click through to read the pages that you want them to read, then the words on that page kind of don't really matter, because if they're not being clicked through to, then those words will not get read. And if those words don't get read, you won't get any bookings or sales. Now, I know that sounds quite dramatic, and it probably isn't as dramatic as that, but headlines are really important. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't use headlines in my business, I'm here to tell you that you do. Headlines are anything that you are using to get people to do something, to click through, to read more. So it might be the first line that you write on your social media posts. It might be your newsletter subject lines. It might be the titles of your blogs. It will be the service pages that you have on your website, the product pages that you have on your website, your home page even. You know, you need to write things that are going to make a bride feel that they are either in the right place or that they want to know more. You would have watched this video because you would want to know how to write cracking headlines for your wedding business. So that is what you're going to get. You're going to get the promise that I said that I would deliver. So today I'm going to share with you 5 tips that you can use to write headlines that captivate. And I'm going to share with you the recipe that you can use to put those all together. So the next time that you write your headlines, you know that they are going to be fantastic and that they're going to make people want to click through, read more, and hopefully click that buy now, that inquire now, or that book now button. So make sure that you download the printable as well that comes with this. It's just a one-pager that you can just print out and have ready for next time you're writing any headlines for your business. It shows you the 5 tips and it also shows you the recipe so that you can put those together, so you can craft those headlines that work. So the importance of headlines, firstly, they have the power to attract or lose your ideal bride. If your bride is not clicking through to that link that you're sending them to, then the words on that page don't matter. So your headlines are really important. Now let's move on to the 5 tips. Tip number 1 I have for you is use numbers. So things like 3 ways to work the camera on the wedding day, 5 tips for flawless makeup on your wedding day. Use numbers. People like to know that there are a number of things that they're going to learn. So for example, for this video, 5 tips to help you craft headlines that capture your brides. You know you're going to get 5 tips and you know what it's going to be all about. Tip number 2 is to use interesting adjectives. So use words that make it interesting for people to click through. So things such as effortless, painstaking, fun, free, incredible, essential. Use a word that inspires someone to click through and that makes it easy for them to realise that it's going to be something that's interesting for them. So some examples there. 5 essential tips to flawless skin on your wedding day. 3 easy and fun ways to keep kids entertained on your wedding day. So you can see how you can use those interesting adjectives to make people want to click through a bit more. Tip number 3 is all about using unique rationale. The why. Why should people click through? So these are words such as reasons, principles, facts, lessons, ideas, ways, secrets, and tricks. So 5 essential tricks to 10 fun facts too. You can start to see how just adding those words in add another reason why they should click the button, because they're going to learn something. They're going to either learn a lesson, they're going to learn something fun, some ideas, some ways, some tricks. They're going to learn something. Now, tip number 4 is to use a different kind of heading. So use the what, why, where and how type of heading. So how to create some beautiful centerpieces for your wedding day. How to write the wedding invitations for your wedding day. Why you should consider what photos to have before your wedding day. Why you should is a great way of getting people to click through, giving them a reason why they should do something. It makes them intrigued as to what the post is going to be about. Now, tip number 5 is all about making a promise. Give them a reason that you will follow through. So don't use a headline that is misleading. Yes, you want it to be interesting. Yes, you want them to click through. But equally, you want them to feel that they've achieved something by reading it. You don't want to feel that they've been duped, because then they're less likely to trust you and to kind of believe the next time you land in their inbox. If you're telling them that, 10 ways that you can pay for your wedding without actually spending any money, if your post is about that, then great. But if it isn't, don't dupe people into it. Make them a promise and stick to it. So for example, with this class, I've said to you, I will teach you 5 top tips that you can use to craft headlines that work. We've talked about why they're important, and now I'm going to share with you the recipe that you can use each and every time you come to write your headlines. Now, from the heading that I've used in this article, you will know what you're going to get, and you've actually got that. So I've not duped you, I've not kind of made you click through and then think, well, hang on a minute, this isn't what it said it would be. You want to build a trusting relationship with your brides and grooms, and you want them to feel that they can trust what you're saying and that relationship is there. So that is really important. If you make a promise, make sure you deliver on it and make sure you give them what you say you will. So just to recap on those 5 tips, tip number 1 was to use numbers. Tip number 2 was to use interesting adjectives. Tip number 3 was to use unique rationale. Tip number 4 is to use the what, why, where and how question. And tip number 5 is to make a promise and deliver that promise. So what is the recipe that you can use every single time you come to write a headline? Like I say, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a subject line in your newsletter, whether it is just a heading in your social media post, whether it is something that you're putting on your product and service page, what can you use to make sure that you craft a headline that works every single time? Well, this is the recipe. So first of all, you need the number or the trigger word. So when we talk about the numbers, it's that 5 ways to, it's that 3 tips for, use the words that are going to, trigger people to click through. So use a number or use that trigger word, that how to, that why, the why you should. Then add your adjective, add your interesting bit, the bit that makes people want to click through. So 3 fun ways to. 5 ways that you need to make sure you do, 10 tricks and tips too. So use that interesting adjective word. Then have your keyword. What is it that you're actually giving them? What is it that you're actually writing about? Is it about makeup? Is it about floristry? Is it about your venue? Is it about styling? Is it about your wedding dress? Is it about wedding underwear? Whatever your keyword is, what is the main purpose of your article? So if it's, for example, if you're a makeup artist, it could be 3 tricks for flawless skin on your wedding day, because it's the flawless skin bit, that's your keyword, that's the thing that you're actually going to talk to them about, that's exactly what your is linking back to your business, and that is the keyword that you are trying to engage them with. And then give them that promise, the promise of what is going to be in the article. So like I say, with this article, you know, you've had your why headlines are so important. You've had 5 tips as to how you can use headlines in your business. And then you've had the recipe. So I've delivered on the promise that I said I would give for you. Don't dupe your brides. So the recipe that you need to use, the number or trigger word, the adjective, the keyword, and then the promise. And if you follow that, then you will really start to be able to craft headlines that work for you, that make brides click. And when the brides click through, they will click through to the page that you want them to, whether it's on your website, they will click through to your Etsy shop, and they will start to have a look around. They will feel captivated, they will feel as if they want to know what it is that you're offering them. And this is all part of building that know, like, and trust factor, getting more visible with your brides and grooms, because if they can't see you, then they can't book you. So visibility is really, really important. Now, if you are still struggling and you're sitting there thinking, oh God, I can still never think of headlines when I need to, I've got a couple of final tips for you. So firstly, pick up a newsletter, that you receive in your inbox. Have a look and see what makes you click it. You know, I get emails all the time and I tend to click the ones that are interesting to me. So let's say, for example, I had one the other day from H&M which was talking about David Beckham's new underwear collection. I'm going to click on that. So think of the newsletters that you will click through and what encourages you to click through to them. Why is that an interest for you? And keep a notebook and jot down those ideas of those words that you could use. The other great way to get some headline ideas is to pick up a magazine, a glossy magazine, a newspaper, or even better, a wedding magazine, because you already have some almost pre-made headlines for you. And I'm not saying copy them, but these magazines, wedding magazines, you know, they have professional headline writers. They have people that are, you know, specialists in this. So use their inspiration. If there's some headlines that they've used on the front page that's engaged a bride, that's got them to want to buy the magazine in the first place, use some of those similar headlines in your business. And that is a great source of headline inspiration. Now, there are 2 tools that I also recommend if you are still struggling and it's just not quite coming through. You're not quite finding that you are getting those headlines right. There is one that is called tweakyourbiz.com/tools/tile-generator. I'll post the link below this video. And there is also one called portent.com, tools and title maker. And they're 2 really good tools. They're free. They just kind of inspire you a little bit. You put your keywords in and they will throw out some ideas for you. So if you are really struggling, at least you've got somewhere that you can go to get that final little bit of inspiration. So I would love to hear what you think about this video. Either like, comment and share. Comment below, let me know what headlines you're going to write for your business. If you want any more help with it, or is there any of this that you want me to delve in even deeper, then just comment below or drop me an email and I should do a further blog or video post for you. So I hope that is helpful. Make sure you click over to the website www.weddingbizbootcamp.com and grab some of the great free stuff that we've got over there. And I shall hopefully speak to you really soon. All right then, take care. Bye bye.